everyone, Scottman. We're here to do a drive video today. We are heading west on I-94 from around where it begins here in Port Huron over by the Blue Water Bridge, and we're going to head all the way to I-696 in the Metro Detroit area. It is a nice day out today. Mostly sunny skies and pretty comfortable out right now temperature-wise. My car thermometer is reading 72 degrees Fahrenheit. Convert that to Celsius, it's around a little over 22 degrees, so very nice out. Although it is going to cloud up later in the day, we actually have a good chance of rain coming in, but for the time being it's really nice. So perfect time to do this video, and this is almost looking exactly like how I did the I-69 video I did from the same spot all the way to I-75 in Flint. Because right here, I-69 and I-94 run concurrent with each other. Like, as the freeway comes off the Blue Water Bridge, coming over from Canada into the United States. So it's like for the first few minutes of this video, it's looking almost identical to that video. So we're coming up to the exit for I-69. So this is where the two freeways branch off of each other, or branch away from each other. So like, yeah, we're in that video I went I-69 to go due west. This time we're gonna be going southwest on I-94. So if you want to continue on I-69 west, again, go in the direction of Flint and Lansing, you want to get over to the right lane there and get off there. Because these two lanes over here, this continues on I-94 in the direction of Detroit. So yeah, if you're going in the direction, well, Flint or Lansing, or heck, if you're going like to Grand Rapids, to the western side of the state, or even if you're going to Chicago, I-69 would be your better route to take, because you don't have to deal with any of the traffic in the Detroit area. And it's like the only two cities you really go through would be Flint and Lansing, and those usually aren't too bad unless there's like a lot of road construction. However, if you're going to the Detroit area, Ann Arbor, Jackson, Michigan, or if you're going down to Ohio, you will definitely want to take I-94. So anyway, so I-94 is quite a long freeway because it starts over here in the Port Huron area. Well, more about that in a second. So yeah, this exit here, 34 miles to Mount Clemens and 57 miles to Detroit. So this exit coming up here, this is Range Road. This is like the western end of Port Huron, or just also to like the north of Marysville. This is a good exit just because, like, if you're going over into Canada or even coming back, there's a Speedway gas station I always like to stop at if I go over into Canada, just because the gas prices in Canada are significantly higher than they are here in the US. So a lot of times I'll fill up my gas tank at the Speedway at this exit at Range Road. This is especially a good idea if I'm just doing like a day trip or something. And also if you're coming across the border back in the United States or over to the United States and you need to fill up your gas tank, wait till you cross the border and then you can stop at like at that Speedway at Range Road, because the prices are significantly lower. Anyway, so I-94 goes a long way in the United States. It starts off here in the Port Huron, Michigan area, although theoretically it continues across the Blue Water Bridge as the 402 going over into Ontario. Chicago, goes through North Dakota, goes right by Theodore Roosevelt National Park in the western part of the state, which is a beautiful part of North Dakota too, by the way. And then it ends up in Montana, and the freeway ends at I-90 near Billings, Montana. I will say though, if you're going to Seattle, if you're driving all the way to Seattle, Washington, from the Port Huron area, like coming across the border, or even from the Detroit, I-94 is not really the fastest route. You probably would want to stick to I-90. Plus, if you do that, there are a lot less cities you go through, because Interstate 90 stays well to the south of Minneapolis. So that exit back there, that is Gratiot Avenue. And Gratiot Avenue is the main highway which runs parallel with I-94 between Detroit and Port Huron. Before they built I-94, what we're driving on right now, Gratiot was the original route from Detroit to Port Huron and vice versa. Eventually ends up in downtown Port Huron, and also goes into Marysville, which is just outside of Port Huron, and then Gratiot goes all the way into Detroit. Well, downtown Detroit. It's like out here, it's just a two-lane highway, but then once you get down to the Mount Clemens area, where you get in the heart of Metro Detroit, then it becomes a pretty big boulevard, and it's a pretty busy highway with a lot of different shops, or like department stores, restaurants, etc. Some of my recent westbound I-94 videos, because I'm starting to do those now, I filmed all of I-94 going east in the state of Michigan. So it's like now I am doing westbound. And I've already filmed a couple of them already, with one being in the Metro Detroit area from 696 all the way to I-275 near the airport, and then heck, just last weekend I filmed one from I-275 going all the way out to 127 out in the Jackson, Michigan area. But yeah, as you can pretty much see in this part of I-94, like this is probably one of my least favorite stretches of I-94 in the state of Michigan, just because it's very flat and not very inspiring. Although it's not super flat by the Pine River back there. And this is Wadhams Road here. You can technically take Wadhams Road to go north. You'll eventually end up back at I-69. There's an exit for Wadhams Road off of I-90 or I-696 or I-69, excuse me. It's like getting my freeways mixed up today. I-94 can have a lot of busy truck traffic because it does head in a direction towards Chicago. However, I would say the stretch between Port Huron and Detroit is probably one of the least traveled stretches of I-94, just because traffic along this part of I-94 is generally going to Port Huron or coming from Port Huron, going across the Blue Water Bridge into Canada, or people going on the M-25 to go north up into the thumb of Michigan, going to all the different communities like Lexington or Fort Gratiot, Port Sanilac, Harbor Beach, later today. I figure good idea to film this today. Yeah, I can see a lot of clouds off to like the northwest of here, like way off to the right. So they're gonna be slowly starting to roll in. For this whole video, though, we should be more than good. So yeah, but anyway, yeah, no worries. Yeah, the scenery will get a little bit. We'll see a little bit more. I don't want to say the word action. We'll see more exciting things later, much later in this video. In fact, maybe I should have some water really quick. Okay, that's better. So yeah, this exit here, this is Fred W. Moore Highway. This is also 32-mile road. So Fred W. Moore Highway heads east in the direction towards St. Clair, Michigan. If you head west, it turns into Division Road, and then eventually 32-mile road goes through the communities of Richmond, and then eventually Romeo, Michigan. Which, as a matter of fact, I filmed the video on 32-mile road in its entirety not too long ago. Bypass of pretty much large chunk of the Metro Detroit area, especially when you take back roads and stay well to the north, because you can easily, there's 32-mile road easily winds over to like Rochester Road, and then from there you can take like either like Stony Creek Road or Lakeville Road to go to like Lake Orion and Oxford respectively, and then of course you can continue away west on Clarkson Road or Seymour Lake Road, like some of those roads, or even Oakwood Road to stay well to the north of Metro Detroit. Get in the direction toward like the Clarkson area near where Pine Knob is, and you can do stuff like that. Although it's not, may not necessarily be fast. They're like more like scenic routes. That was St. Clair Highway there. That's 31-mile road once you get into Macomb County. So it is rather interesting how all the different mile roads that you see like in Macomb County, once they come over into St. Clair County, they're no longer mile roads. They got different names for them. The same holds true for when a lot of these same roads go over into Oakland County, even further west, with the exception of 14-mile road on south. So like St. Clair Highway, that highway back there turns into 31-mile road in Macomb County, and then it becomes Predmore Road in Oakland County. Here in Michigan so far in June. It's like there are parts of the United States right now that are seeing pretty bad heat waves, especially in like the southwest part of the United States, going over into the inland areas of like inland California. Think like the Central Valley, the Imperial Valley, like those areas, not necessarily like right along the coast or anything, because the Pacific Ocean does moderate things quite a bit. There's always a big difference between like go like to Bakersfield, California, for example, and then go like to Santa Monica, like right on the water. It's significantly cooler, like in Santa Monica or any of the beach communities along the ocean there. And then like even like in the southern part of the United States, like even down like Texas, they're seeing like a lot of hot weather, but it's summer, so things can get pretty hot down there. Michigan right now, Well, heck, it never got to 70 degrees Fahrenheit yesterday here, which is very uncommon here in early June. It's like, yeah, my cousin, I was messaging my cousin Lauren yesterday, who's been in some of my videos from in the past, and like she's very jealous right now because it's quite hot right now where she lives out in South Texas, and yeah, she was really jealous to hear about the nice cooler weather here. Although it is supposed to warm up significantly going into next week, real time. It'll feel more like summer. But yeah, that's the thing with Michigan though. It's like you can get plenty of weather pattern changes to where, yeah, we can see summer heat here, but then we'll get cold fronts coming through, which will drop the temperatures, or maybe not the temperatures by much, at least the humidity. And it's like if the weather is hot and humid or something, it's like, yeah, we got plenty of lakes here. Whether it's the Great Lakes or even like inland lakes. After all, it's like people going boating or swimming in all the different lakes here in Michigan. It's a summer pastime here in the state. It's only early June. It's like I've not been on a boat yet this year up to this point, with the exception of the ferry I took in Boston, Massachusetts, when I was in Boston a couple weekends ago, where I took the ferry from like the Charlestown area, near where the USS Constitution is, like not far from where the Bunker Hill Monument is, and of course took the ferry back into downtown Boston. That's pretty much the only boat I have been on so far this year, and that's not even in Michigan, that's in Massachusetts. We are now crossing over into Macomb County. So up until now, we were in St. Clair County, and then going past County Line Road, this is now Macomb County. And we got very smooth pavement over here too, which is really nice. So this is now, I think, where we'll start to see more in the way of like exits off the freeway. Because coming up here, at this exit here, this is 26 Mile Road, which if you go east after past County Line Road, it'll turn into Marine City Highway. So 26 Mile Road or Marine City Highway going east will take you toward Marine City, Michigan, which is right along the St. Clair River. Or going, if you go west on 26 Mile Road, you can head in the direction of New Haven, Michigan. Just take 26 Mile Road and make a turn onto New Haven Road, or M-19. And of course M-19 will take you up into New Haven and eventually up toward Richmond. And after crossing over 26 Mile Road, we are now in Chesterfield Township. Anyway, so if you were to continue further west on 26 Mile Road, you'll eventually get in the direction of Stony Creek Metro Park, which is a beautiful park located like just to the north outside of like the Metro Detroit area. It's a nice little getaway from the metro area without having to go too far. And you can also take 26 Mile Road to pass there, and you can get in the direction toward Rochester Hills, Michigan. So yeah, right here, this is M-19. So M-19 begins at this interchange here, but notice how there was no exit. There are only exits for M19 in the eastbound direction, as well as an entrance ramp. They pretty much did that because there's not really any point of having a westbound exit there, because theoretically all you have to do is just take 26 Mile Road West and you'll end up at M19 anyway. So that's pretty much why they don't have an exit for westbound, or on westbound 94 for Marine City Highway, not Marine City Highway, but for M19 or New Haven Road. Going the opposite direction, then it's a different story. Although it is interesting though, if you go east on 94, there is an exit for 26 Mile Road after all. So it's like you could turn left on the 26 Mile Road and end up back at M19. Although you're going out your way a little bit, but oh well. So yeah, now we're starting to get into the Metro Detroit area, because these are the first residential neighborhoods we're seeing. And this is where traffic will start to pick up a little bit. And here comes our first shopping area too. Like, the exit we're coming up to right now is going to be 23 Mile Road, or is also the beginning of M29. Because at this exit here, there's a lot of department stores, restaurants, gas stations. So a lot of shopping over in this area. So this is the beginning of M29. So if you take 23 Mile Road east, that turns into that becomes M29 going toward New Baltimore, eventually to Algonac, and then it heads back up to the north toward Marine City, St. Clair, and eventually up toward Port Huron. So it'll be almost getting back to almost where we started this video. And then 23 Mile Road west, that becomes M3, although M3 then will continue south onto Gratiot, where 23 Mile Road continues west toward like Macomb Township, Shelby Township, eventually heading the direction toward Rochester and Rochester Hills, Michigan. And starting here at 23 Mile Road too, I-94 now adds a third lane, so now we have 3 lanes in each direction. About, because not at this exit but the following exit, we'll be coming over toward where Selfridge, the National National Guard base is. Oh yeah, 6 miles to Mount Clemens, 28 miles to Detroit. We won't be going all the way to Detroit in this video. Heck, we won't even be going into the Detroit city limits either in this video. So over at Selfridge right now, there's supposed to be an air show going on. So there could be a possibility we could see some planes flying around as we get closer. So this exit here is for 21 Mile Road, and for the air show that's going on today, so obviously when this video goes up onto YouTube, the air show will not be going on. But because they got M59 East closed because of the air show, they're having people for the air show get off here at 21 Mile Road and head over to the air show that way. Because I assume they'll probably just take 21 Mile Road, they probably head down on Jefferson or something. And coming up here, this is the exit for M59 or Hall Road. So this is where M59 begins. Because it starts off over here by the National Guard base for Selfridge, and then it goes all the way west toward, and then over like to all the big shopping areas of Clinton Township, Shelby Township, Sterling Heights, Utica, and then continues west toward Pontiac, and then heads out in the direction toward Hull, Michigan, before it ends up at I-96 in Hull. And then passing M-59, we are now in Harrison Township. And yeah, I'm not seeing any airplanes flying at the moment, unfortunately. Because yeah, right now, yep, Selfridge is due east of where we are. Been to the air show before, although there have been times, of course, I've been driving in this area during it, and I've seen all the different airplanes flying, do all these cool little tricks. Almost kind of like, have you ever heard like the Blue Angels? It's almost like that a little bit. I'm not really seeing anything right now. So yeah, right now we are getting into the Mount Clemens area. Downtown Mount Clemens is to the almost to the west of here. That, and if you were to continue on Gratiot instead of I-94, you'd be going through downtown Mount Clemens. Oh yeah, but off to the right, there used to be almost like a flea market. It was called the Gibraltar Trade Center, but that's been a thing of the past for quite a while. I remember seeing a lot of advertisements for Gibraltar Trade Center back when I was younger. And yeah, that exit back there, that's a direct exit into Mount Clemens, or toward Mount Clemens. And we're going over the Clinton River here. Yep, so for where we are right now, we got 7 miles to go, or 7 minutes until we get to where 696 is. Making very good progress, I would say. So this exit coming up here, this is Metro Parkway. What's funny is that the sign says Metropolitan Parkway, yet I don't even know of anybody who's ever referred to it as Metropolitan Parkway, because everybody calls it Metro Parkway. So if you want to go to Lake St. Clair Metro Park, which is a very nice park right on Lake St. Clair, you get off here on Metro Parkway and go east, because Metro Parkway ends up at that Metro Park, and then Metro Parkway going west will take you out into Clinton Township, Sterling Heights, and then eventually turns into Big Beaver Road in Troy, Michigan, going in the direction of the Somerset Collection, which is an upscale indoor shopping mall over in like the Metro Detroit area, again over in Troy. Shortcut. If you want to get over to Jefferson, if you're going in the direction of St. Clair Shores, if you want to drive along Jefferson, that's a good freeway, or not freeway, it's a good road to take. see heavier traffic now that we're getting into the heart of the Metro Detroit area. I think technically we're now in Clinton Township. After I finished this video, there was a restaurant I want to check out over in Warren. I'm gonna go to that for lunch because I'm considering doing another restaurant tour around Metro Detroit. Maybe doing like restaurants in like southern Macomb County, here in the Metro Detroit area. And not only that, but also, of course, film like an Instagram reel too. So having to resume things. So something happened with my GoPro apparently when I was starting like the little third segment with filming this video. So apparently my GoPro battery went kaput, like completely kaput, to where it was not filming anything or even turning on. So I had to, because I was looking at my GoPro camera couple miles from here, like after crossing over the city limits into Roseville, realizing that this was not recording. So I tried to turn it on and wasn't doing so, and then it came out briefly to say it was low battery at 0%. So something happened. So what I ended up having to do is I had to turn around off camera and get back to around the area where the camera was last working, which thankfully wasn't anything too significant. So I didn't really have to go all that far. See, right now where we are, this is, you don't see it from here, but on the other side there's an exit that goes over to Gratiot in the direction of like the Macomb Mall. We should be getting to our exit in about a couple more miles. But yeah, it's like this is the so thank goodness I had another battery available that was fully charged. So like the moral of the story is have extra batteries on hand just in case turmoil happens. So anyway, because around the area here I realized I wasn't recording, so I had to get off here at 12 Mile, go back up to Harper, and then get back to where I was. But this is the second battery that's gone kaput on me in the past few months. So I've had this GoPro for several years, like over like 7.5 years. I'm starting to wonder if I may have to pay for another GoPro or something, like something brand new. I'm just not enthusiastic about paying a lot of money for a new one, but I may have no choice. But anyway, so we've made it to our destination here. So we have driven west on I-94 all the way from where it begins around the area of Port Huron by the Blue Water Bridge, going all the way to I-696 here in like the Roseville and St. Clair Shores area. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video today. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to click that like button. Don't forget to click that subscribe button so that way you don't miss out on any future adventures. Well, thank you for watching, and this is Scott, or the Scottman signing out here from Roseville and St. Clair Shores, Michigan.